take a look at this arrow right here. And if you do that, holy cow, is that going to be bad? So the first thing I do is say I'm not going to do that. Look at that kill zone. Look at that water. It's going to slow you down and then up into the open with the enemy in covered and concealed positions. No, where I want to be is I want to be up in that northern area and come down on that area. I don't want to go anywhere near this creek. And being on the left side over here would be really cool. And if I can get into those two places, I can surround the enemy and then hit him from the north and make him go down into the kill zone. And so that's the strategy. That's what I want to do to him. And look at that. That's nice high ground up there. I can be on that ridge line firing down into his position. I can be in good cover and concealment. And he can be out in the open taking massive casualties. And so that's the plan. That's what we want to do. So the first thing I want to do is try to sneak around his left flank. And hopefully I can stay really close to the edge and out of sight. And we can, and fast forward with editing. We're sneaking through the woods and we're doing really well. So what happens is half your army comes in at first and then half your army comes in second. So my first group that comes in is going to sweep around the enemy left. And the other one is going to sweep around the enemy right. And we're going to do a double envelopment. Double envelopment. Actually, I'm going to surround him and hit him front, flank, both flanks and rear. And yeah, that's what I intend to do. So I detach skirmishers to keep his skirmishers busy while my infantry keeps moving very slowly through the woods. But if I can get up to that ridge line, which, you're going to move very slowly, but if I can get up to that ridge line, then it's golden. It's terrific. So I have skirmishers to the south, kind of distracting him. I wanted him to stay in place. I have a skirmisher up top, and we just keep working our way around. The army in the south comes in, is going to sweep around to the left, and hopefully he'll let me, keep rolling his flank up and get into the woods that are on the left side, far left side against the edge of the map. So we push his skirmisher back, and my infantry is now going to scoot down the road so that they don't get as tired. And we're walking because we want to get there with some condition left so that we have enough condition to fight. And we make it. I put some infantry in the woods to drive his skirmishers out, and they're in really good position, already weakening his flank. Detach skirmishers all the way back to the water, keeping his flank tied down. And I detach a skirmisher on the southern front so my infantry can get into the woods and get as close to him as possible, but I want to be in good cover while that unit is firing. And the two flanks get there just about the same time. The southern flank gets there a little sooner, and the northern, that big flanking movement that made the big flanking movement, gets to the far north and gets there just at about the right time. And he has just enough condition to put a couple volleys into this guy, into the rear, and that's going to collapse him. And his whole position now just collapses. That's absolutely terrific. I'm going to wait until that guy collapses before I move the next guy forward, and then the next guy forward. And now we're going to put pressure on the entire northern side, the entire rear of his position. And that's what we want to do. Now the next goal is to get all the guys that are on the left, get them up into the to the edge of the wood line so they're in great cover. And I want to catch him in the open. I want to catch as much of him as I possibly can in the open while my guys are all in good cover. The guys in the north all have great cover, and they're firing plunging fire downhill, and that's going to work out much better than I imagined, because he's going to try to counterattack. And he's going to counterattack the way the game wanted you to attack, which is just suicidal. So he's going to charge uphill, trying to take that flag back, while my guys are in cover with, well, actually I have cover, I have artillery, and I have the high ground. And look, he's even trying now. He's trying to move uphill against my guys that have cover, and they're firing plunging fire downhill. And as he's charging uphill, he's just exhausting his units. And his units are just not going to have the condition. And it's just a slaughter. Now I catch him in the open. He hasn't fallen back. He's standing in the open. My guys have made it to the edge of the wood line. They're in cover, and it's just absolutely, it's beautiful. It's absolutely lovely. I have exactly what I want. I'm shifting my guys right. I don't want to charge into that open area. I just want to keep as much in cover as much as possible and keep inflicting casualties. There are 27 minutes left. And right now I'm thinking if I can catch him in that water, in the little creek, with the guys on the north side and the guys on the south side, can kind of fold him up, his entire force will be in the water, and we'll be able to just easily wipe him out. But there are only 12 minutes left, and the time runs out. But we do pretty well. We could have gotten a few more, but those numbers aren't bad. And 5.6 to 1 ratio, and for the individual units, this actually is pretty good. Look, almost no losses for most of my units. One unit did lose 300, but the rest of them got lots of experience. I did not use the artillery well. The artillery should have done better. But everybody else did a really good job and got some easy experience. So now we go on to the next battle, and we're getting closer to Antietam.